Hey everybody, welcome to your Taurus horoscope for the week. These are the horoscopes for the week of July 9th to July 15th. We've got some moon action going on this week, specifically coming into your sign about Tuesday and Wednesday, moving into conjunction with Jupiter and Uranus, which of course continue to influence your sign. So we have a couple of things going on. We're going to start actually with Uranus's square with Venus and Mars, which continues, unfortunately, throughout this week. And the moon actually moving into conjunction with Uranus doesn't help this at all, unfortunately. It amplifies the problem and makes it even more of a pain in the butt, for lack of a better way of saying it, if that makes sense. Focus is on finances this week. Jupiter is all about growth and expansion in finances. Hey, we're all about that, right? Uranus is really about looking outside of the box, outside of the norm for ideas in terms of financial growth, which is a little bit difficult for not just a fixed sign to do, but an earth fixed sign to do. Earth signs are pretty feet on the ground kind of individual. So looking outside of the box of things is not necessarily their MO. That's why we have an influence to come in and say, hey, but check this out. Just because it isn't the norm doesn't mean that occasionally it doesn't work. That doesn't make sense. Except for when there's a challenge, and the moon is a part of that challenge. And on Wednesday, the moon moves into conjunction with Uranus into that square with Mars and Venus. Now, Mars and Venus are focused on your support system. So there's a million ways that this could play out. One, you are really trying to focus on your career goals because these are your money goals, and you're feeling unsupportive because everybody in your household is too busy bothering you with what they need, and so they're not supporting your need for time to be able to focus on that. Another way that this can play out is maybe you're looking for at your career to generate a little bit of extra money, and they're not being supportive of that. They're like, yeah, no, you make enough money, so we're not going to give you any more, kind of a thing, which is usually, unfortunately, how it is. I mean, it's the whole thing rolls downhill, really, when you think about it. We don't have enough money. That's because the companies don't have enough money. Just because everything went up didn't mean that their money went up. They had to start charging more. So everything literally just rolls downhill. When we all get a big raise, everything else goes up too, and it's kind of a nightmare. We never really do get too far ahead in terms of that kind of a job. So maybe we're looking at side things coming in. We have side hustles going on to make a little bit of that extra money. And somebody is just not supportive of that idea. This can play out in like a million different ways. And on Wednesday, when the moon is a part of it, this is when you're going to have an emotional breakdown over it. I mean, this is where the day is. Literally everything is pointing to that. So there's two things coming out of this lesson here. One, the first thing is that this is a lesson for you. Now, if you are one of those people that has one of those patterns that cannot seem to get past go without somebody holding your hand, that is the lesson. This is up to you to do this on your own without the support of another person. Or if this is a pattern where you come up with these crazy ideas and everybody's always against you, this is part of the lesson. It's not about doing it or not doing it. It's about believing in yourself and not needing validation from other people. So there's about 21,000 different lessons that can come out of this particular aspect. The most important thing is, what does it mean for you? Now, as much of a challenge as this is, Uranus and, of course, the moon on Wednesday, when the moon is in conjunction with Uranus, is also in a grand sextile with the sun and Neptune. Now, this is a very helpful aspect. we have a challenge, we have this aspect that comes together to help us through that challenge in some way, shape, or form. The sun's focus is on career, and Neptune's focus is on your day-to-day schedule. Neptune is retrograde. Your intuition is heightened right now. The sun's house is where you shine. So in terms of generating extra income or coming up with the income that you need in order to put your new income growth plans into place, everything is lining up for that. So the biggest lesson in that is don't sweat the small things. I mean, the more you sweat the small things, the more energy it takes up, the more focus it takes up, the more it takes away from what's important. You have a choice. You could be badass today, or you could sit there and complain about all the ways that people were unhelpful this week. Honestly, you're going to be way more successful if you go with the former rather than the latter. So that's what I have for you guys this week. And if you love your horoscopes, do like the video, please. Do subscribe to the channel so that you get notified when your horoscopes come up. And of course, do click the link in the description and send me a coffee because I would love it. You guys have a great week. I'll see you next week.